Hey, how's it going? It's Demon Count over here at Battle Crow Gaming. Okay, is it just me, or are we seeing a nonstop trend of every time Blizzard announces something, there's all of a sudden 1,000 hit pieces on YouTube and on forums about how bad Blizzard is and how, oh my God, they didn't announce what I wanted them to announce. Oh, why Blizzard bad, Blizzard this, Blizzard that. Mostly around WoW. It does happen with Diablo 4, but it seems to be mostly the worst in WoW. You know, let's just say the most current thing they announced, we just had the State of Azeroth. And just the reaction to it is just, I find it dumbfounded for a couple reasons, but let's look at this one. Well, let's look at this first reaction to this one video that was made about the State of Azeroth. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what this fine individual has to say about the show that we watched.
Blizzard just finished their State of Azeroth live stream, and Classic players walked away with almost nothing. They promised a glimpse into the future of WoW, but 90% of the show was housing and the Midnight expansion. Yes, we got roadmaps for TBC Anniversary and Mists of Pandaria, but the things they didn't say matter a little bit more than what they did. If you were watching the State of Azeroth as a Classic player, it felt like you were sitting through a presentation that wasn't meant for you. From the moment the stream opened, the chat was spamming L retail. Not just for a minute or two, literally for the entire live stream except for one brief moment where Blizzard introduced a new retail pet on screen. If you were in the chat, be honest, were you spamming W's or L's? So for the rest of the video, I'm going to cover what we learned today, the topics that Blizzard is still silent on, and how you should think about all of this moving forward.
Okay, let's go ahead and stop it right there because the video is already kind of pissing me off and just shows a lack of knowledge, or not really knowledge, but just a lack of common sense. Like, it's a half-an-hour video of State of Play. They announced a roadmap for every different variant of the game. And yes, they focused most on Midnight and the TBC roadmap. Like, no crap. This came out 2 weeks before the Midnight launch. Of course, they're going to be focusing on their newest stuff that's about to come out because they want to push the hype and they want to, push sales of the newest content they're putting out. And then TBC just launched. So yeah, they showed the full roadmap for TBC because that's what they're working on. That's what just came out. That's what they're focused on right now from a marketing standpoint. If you had more than 2 working brain cells, you would realize why they're doing it instead of just being like, boo-hoo, woe is me, because they didn't announce what I wanted them to announce. And second, it's like people are oblivious that this is a BlizzCon year. Not only is it a BlizzCon year, it's the first BlizzCon we've had in a couple of years. And announcing Classic Plus, a whole new version of the game that people have been begging for years now, they're not going to announce that in a blue post or a 20-minute video. That is a major announcement. That's a BlizzCon announcement. And they even gave a hint at it where they made the joke of like, oh, yeah, Classic, oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later. So it's already obvious that Classic Plus is coming, but the fact that people are like, oh my God, they didn't announce Classic Plus, they only focused on retail. Like, yeah, no shit. That's what their marketing is right now because that's what's about to come out. Yes, you're going to get a Classic Plus reveal, but guess what? That's going to be at a BlizzCon, not in a little short video that they put out or a Wowhead article. Like, have some common sense. Major updates, major expansions, they're announced at conventions, not on these random small videos. These are marketing pushes. These are giving little tidbits of what their current stuff is that's already out or about to come out that we've already known about, not major announcements of something new coming out soon. Come on. But, that's basically what I have to say about this. But, well, let's go on because there's more. So right here is where they go out of their way to pretty much announce that Classic Plus is coming and giving you kind of like a little teaser. And even this crap doesn't make people happy, where it's making it obvious that Mythic, or not Mythic, but the Classic Plus is coming. And even this doesn't make people happy. But look, it's just, this is the kind of reaction you get to a teaser of what you want to actually coming out without them directly saying that it's coming.
Oh my god, sorry, I forgot about Classic Plus.
And that's not all we're cooking up. I can say with confidence that all Classic players across the globe have a lot to look forward to. I'm really excited to announce that... I guess we'll save that for later.
We got a short bit of the most cringe, unfunny type of millennial humor possible. Hehe. So for Classic players in the State of Azeroth livestream, fuck off. Going back to retail, Midnight was also discussed. Again, for all of us that were wondering, this new expansion will indeed come with new zones, dungeons, and even raids this time around.
So right there, like, it's basically them saying like, hey, Classic Plus and Classic stuff is coming, but we're going to announce that later. Hint, it's coming later, like as in BlizzCon. But even that doesn't make these people freaking happy. Like, and then to call her millennial, this chick's like in her 50s, like calling her, saying she's using millennial humor, calling her millennial, like that makes no damn sense. Like, she's well past the millennial age. She's even past my age. Like, come on, like, there's just dumb. And then let's continue.
Totally worth hearing about, because who knows how will Blizzard spice up their next expansion, right? You can never know with these guys. They are not formulaic at all. We also heard about the labyrinths, and to be honest, this is a new thing, kind of. It's a new kind of delve, basically, that I think, at least on paper, sounds more interesting than normal delves, and I like it. But still, it's just a new iteration on delves. And this was it. I swear to God, this was it. Why did this live stream even exist?
See, there right there is just because they didn't announce what you wanted to announce. You make your whole statement right there just comes off completely wrong and disingenuous. For someone who didn't watch State of Azeroth, you coming out and saying like, oh, all they announced we're getting an expanded version of Delves and, you know, housing. And that's it. That's all they announced about retail. That's all it was. I swear, that's all they said about anything. The bloody hell are you talking about? They announced more raids than we've ever seen in WoW in 1 year. We're getting 7 raids this year. Yeah, like some of them are single fight raids, single boss raids, but it's still a huge amount of raids coming out. That's a huge addition to retail. And for them to say, oh, that was not announced, nothing was announced besides for housing and new delves, it's stupid. It's disingenuous. And then the fact that they're taking delves, which was a very popular system in War Within, and expanding on it by so much and making it like a more epic and large event of a thing is great. I mean, I don't see the people who love delves should be absolutely happy, but these classic players just come in, oh yeah, it's a nothing burger, this is stupid, blah 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 blah, wah 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 wah. And it's like, and then being disingenuous and saying like, oh, all they talked about was how they didn't announce anything else, everything else was just, this is it, while he's showing video of the prop hunt, which is another thing they announced. But oh, they didn't announce that because he said they didn't announce anything else. That was it. It was only housing and this new delve system. That's all they announced. And then they also announced, I can't remember the little void rift things is, but they announced that too as part of the thing. Like, obviously it's not very exciting, but they announced that. We have a full giant timeline for what's coming out in the first year of the expansion, which is very detailed and gives a great amount of information, but nope, none of that was said. It's just, like I said, it's disingenuous. Just because what you want to have announced didn't get announced, you just want to blow through everything and say, oh, nothing happened. It was all stupid. It was just, there was nothing going on. And it's just, I guess I don't know. It rubbed me wrong. I don't know how everyone else feels, but that's just how I feel in the whole situation. But let me know how you guys feel about it, right? But there's tons of videos. Like if I go ahead right here and go into... Oops.
Here we go, chat.
Yeah, let's but yeah, look right here. Like here's the you type in State of Azeroth, which is the most current announcement, right? This is the kind of sentiment people are putting out there and putting massive amount of videos out. And the forums are even worse. But let's go ahead and take a look at these as like the last little part of this video. You know, at some of these thumbnails because they didn't get what they wanted. Like, no Classic Plus. Yikes. Big yikes. Let's see. Surveys, roadmaps, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, there was more than I saw, but a lot of these are just, you know, well, okay, so maybe that's not it, but like, it's like this video was called like how Blizzard ruined all of the hype with the State of Azeroth.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back.
This one's called State of Azeroth, worth it, honest review, and this guy's whole video is negative.
All right, there we go. There it is.
And then this one, the Blizzard event was a giant nothing burger because Classic Plus wasn't announced. This one,
oh wow, for quite a while.
This nutsack in here smoking weed in his video, trying to look like, I just find people like this to be douchebags. But the State of Azeroth is an insult to classic WoW players. The State of Azeroth meant nothing for classic WoW. Like, what did you expect? We have a full expansion for retail coming out. Why would they focus on Classic Plus? Why would they focus on Classic when there's nothing in the immediate horizon going on for Classic? They gave you a TBC timeline so you know when all the raids come out, but that's not good enough because it's not what you wanted. And that's ridiculous. Not everything around the game and around the IP is going to revolve around what you want. And people need to get that in their brain. Like I saw a bunch of videos about a survey that came out, and the survey answers, nobody could agree on anything. Every answer got like 15, 20% of the votes. So even the player base can't agree on what the hell they want. But like I said, everything that Blizzard announces, there's always going to be a ton of videos about what they did wrong and why they didn't announce what I announced and why it's bad and why Blizzard is bad and why Blizzard sucks and yada, yada, yada. I mean, especially, you know, you got neckbeards like this and a few other people who's like the entire channel that they based it on is just talking crap about WoW and talking crap about Blizzard. They've built their entire careers around it. And it's just getting ridiculous. Like, at least Blizzard has its issues. Blizzard's had its issues in the past. WoW has definitely had its issues. But at least give them credit when they're doing something right. Not everything they do has to be bad. Give them credit when they're doing something good, when they're improving the game, when they're being more transparent to the community, which is something we've all been asking for. And yes, I'm a mostly retail player, but you know, I wouldn't be complaining if they announced a bunch of stuff for Classic that I didn't play and I wasn't involved in, but I'd still be happy for the player base that they're getting what they want and stuff is getting announced for. Like, I don't like Dells personally, but I'm glad the people that do are getting stuff involved in and they're getting things announced for them. Just be happy for the community. Let the community grow. Be happy for everyone else instead of just whining about your own crap, right? Sorry, I know this was a little bit of a rant, and I'm going to try not to make so many negative videos and be putting out some more content around WoW and horror games and everything else. And, but that's all I have to say. Like, give Blizzard props when they do something right. Yeah, make criticism on when they do something wrong, but give them credit when they're doing something right. Because if not, you just look like a fool, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see everyone again soon.